Hey guys, and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be predicting the scores of week 23 of this 2021-2022 Premier League season. And welcome back to NWM. Nathan, how are you feeling after your little case of the demonetised?
The old demonetised Omnicroms, as they say.
That's right. Fantastic. And we're ready to get in with some predictions for week 23. Now, before we get into this week's predictions, games are still going ahead. We're recording this on Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock. I think, is it Brighton are playing Chelsea this evening, just about to kick off, or just have kicked
6
off.
minutes in,
so there's two matches tomorrow night, which is on Wednesday, which will probably be this evening by the time you're watching this. But enough of that waffle. Top scorer so far for week 22 is yours truly, with 12.5 points and 3 perfect scores. You, Nathan, currently on 8.5 points, which is pretty good, with 2 perfect scores. So the overall leaderboard as it stands is Delph and Safety back up to first position on 192 points. Nathan, you're currently in 17th position.
Pretty good.
And I'm currently in 22nd position. But let's move on. Everyone wants to just see what we're predicting for this game week, so let's get into it.
Okay, so first up, we have the 8 o'clock on Friday between Watford and Norwich. What a game to put on TV that is. Norwich actually winning a match against an absolutely hopeless Everton, who we'll get onto in a minute. And then Watford, last time around...
Well, they didn't play this evening, which was postponed, of course.
Well, obviously, but before that, I believe they drew 1-1 to Newcastle. So, yeah, I'd say they take that as a good result, especially after the torrid form they've been on recently. But I can see Watford grinding out a decent result here. And probably the last one in a while for Claudio Ranieri, who's going to be dilly gone very soon. So I'm going to go 2-0 to the Hornets.
Yeah, I'm just going to go with Watford on this one as well. Norwich, okay, they did have that decent win, didn't they? The first time in quite a while. Only their 3rd win of the season against Everton, but the Toffees absolutely...
It's crazy to think they've gone over the 11-point mark as well, which no one thought would happen to them this season.
Yeah, and they've actually won 2 more games than Newcastle and Burnley as well. But yeah, I think the Hornets will get all 3 points in this one, and I'm going to go for 2-1 victory. Next up, the first of the Saturday fixtures, 12:30. Lunchtime, live on BT Sport. We've got Everton, the hapless Everton, coming up against Aston Villa. Steven Gerrard, as we know, manager of Aston Villa, so he's going to want to beat Everton as well. So that'll give this game an extra little bit of impetus. Everton, what is happening? Okay, we know that Benitez has gone now. 3 defeats in their last 4 matches. It was a final nail in the coffin.
They're now in a relegation battle as well.
Losing at home against Brighton, which is terrible. Okay, a draw against Chelsea recently was fairly decent, but prior to that it was a loss against Crystal Palace away from home. Aston Villa, now currently in 13th position. They've only had 2 victories themselves in the last 6. A good draw against Manchester United. They were 2-0 down at home against the Red Devils in that one, but did manage to claw it back. But with Villa being in 13th position, I'm expecting them, to push on a little bit now and start to get some wins together. And I can actually see them winning this one away from home at Goodison Park. However, they may have a new manager back. We'll probably see Duncan Ferguson in charge for this match, so he could rally the troops like he did the last time. But I'm going to go with a Villa win in this one, 2-1.
Yeah, Duncan Ferguson in on a caretaker position. I think that he should be there to the end of the season now, and Everton shouldn't panic by like they did to get Benitez in. Going to go back to basics, very simple football, 4-4-2. You know the business, but it depends what some members of the Everton fan base in particular, the sort of football hipsters I like to call them, who complain if they don't keep the ball enough and don't play pretty enough football. That's why Sam Allardyce was forced out, of course, in many cases. So I think Aston Villa will probably edge this one 1-0, but they should be able to turn the fortunes around sooner or later, Everton.
Yeah, Calvert-Lewin and Richarlison, I'm just looking at the injury list now. They're not on that injury list, so they should actually be playing. So, that is good signs for Everton.
Next up, we've got Brentford versus Wolves. Now, Brentford, 14th position, losing again. Well, it was 3-0 against Liverpool. Only won once only won twice in their last 6 matches, and that was against Villa and Watford. But looking at who they've had recently, very tricky, minus that Southampton absolute demolition job. And they're coming up against a Wolves side doing really well actually in 8th. 3 wins in their last 4, and that draw as well in between all that was against Chelsea. They beat Man United 1-0, they've beaten Brighton, and they've beaten Southampton convincingly as well. This is Wolves' game for me. Could even be more than I've said, but I'm going to go 2-1 to keep it safe.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wolves in this one as well. They got the second best defensive record in the Premier League. Going away to Brentford though. Brentford's home form this season has been decent. Their 2 victories that you mentioned just a moment ago, Nathan, were both at home against Watford and Villa. However, this Wolves side really starting to get the results now. In 8th position, can they kick on? Can they get into those European spots? Possibly, especially if Manchester United slip up this weekend. I'm going to go for a narrow victory to Wolves. I'm going to go for a 1-0 win. Next up, we got Leeds coming up against Newcastle. Now, Leeds back-to-back wins now, with victories, a very good win against West Ham and against Burnley. West Ham beat Leeds in the Cup recently, so they knew what to expect against the Hammers, and they took advantage of that and beat them 3-2 at the London Stadium. Can they do it against Newcastle? I think they can. Newcastle, second from bottom, getting a couple of draws recently. Looks like Eddie Howe is going back to basics a little bit there with 1-1 draws. Yeah, 1-1 draws against Man United and Watford. So they could try and grind out a result in this one. However, Leeds are scoring goals at the moment. I think they scored 3 in their last 2 matches, or 6 in total there. So I'm going to go for another 3-goal haul for Leeds. I'm going to go 3-1.
I'm going to go 2 for this one. I think Newcastle will get able to get a goal though. It's just that defence that needs sorting out. They need to get a strong centre-back leader in that team. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds, I think. Next we've got Man United versus West Ham. Now West Ham 4th at the moment, losing 3-2 to Leeds. That was quite unlucky actually, to be fair. But before then, getting some good results and then stumbling a little bit. Next we're against the Man United side. Well, where do we start with that Man United side at the moment? Drawing to Villa, losing to Wolves, edging out Burnley, but they're bottom of the league, of course, bearing in mind that they do have a lot of games in hand. Draws against Newcastle, only just beating Norwich as well. Yeah, it's not working for old Ragnick, is it? And I don't know where to begin with that lot, but I think West Ham will just edge this one at Old Trafford 1-0.
Wow, really? Yes. Will West Ham bounce back? Moyes going back to his old club as well, which will be tasty. Paul Pogba isn't going to be available again for this one, but he is nearing full fitness. I think it's a couple of games time for Paul there. This one, Man United lose, giving away a 2-goal lead against Villa. At home, they really need to get behind their side. I think this one's going to end up in a stalemate. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah.
The 5:30 kick-off on Saturday takes place in Southampton on the south coast against champions-elect, you could say, with Manchester City currently on 56 points. Their nearest rivals. 1 game
in hand, so you can't even...
Is, 11 points ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool have got the game in hand there. I fully expect Manchester City to go down to Southampton. It is a bit tricky going down to Southampton. They only lost 1-0 last season.
Results.
But although Southampton got absolutely demolished, I think in their last game, they did 3-1 away against Wolves. I think Man City should get the 3 points here, but I don't think it's going to be easy, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 away win.
Interesting. I'm going to go for a 3-0, I think. They do like a win on the South Coast, Man City. Remember the 100 points, and they've got some good results there, so I'm going to go 3-0. Next we've got Arsenal versus Burnley. Now, bottom of the table, Burnley, they have 5 games in hand, so technically that could get them out of the relegation zone if they play them all and get some good results there, but we just don't know. And then Arsenal, good run of form, only losing to Man City last time around, but that's fair enough, I guess. Good run of form before that. This should be Arsenal's game. I'm going to go 2-0.
It should be Arsenal's game, as you say. However, this is going to be a little bit of shock for this game week. Arsenal have got 12 players out. Emile Smith-Rowe, the likes of Saka, who's only 50% for this match. Chambers' party, of course, is at AFCON. Mohamed Elneny, Pepe, Kalajdzic. She's got a bit of a fire injury. Aubameyang's out. The likes of Odegaard. So Tommy Show as well. He's out again. He's only recently come back from an injury himself, and Xhaka. So they got massive injury problems. I fancy Burnley.
But then again, they've got their youth squad, which they had absolutely no right of postponing that Tottenham and North London derby. Absolutely ridiculous.
Should have gone ahead. Only one demonetised case as well. But coming up against this Burnley side, okay, Chris Wood, we know he's gone to Newcastle, so that's a bit of a blow. I don't think they've replaced him yet, either up front.
I don't think they will either.
I think this is going to end all square. A shock of the weekend for me. I'm going to go for 1-1. Next up, also on Sunday, we've got the Sky match at 2 o'clock. Crystal Palace coming up against Liverpool. This finished 7-0 last season to Liverpool. Of course, the Reds have got a couple of their best players missing in Mane and Salah, and Keita in the middle of midfield. However, Liverpool, last time out, a very good win against Brentford. They have struggled on the road recently, haven't won in their last 3 away matches. They were back-to-back with Tottenham, Chelsea draws, sandwich in between that to Leicester loss. So I think Crystal Palace losing a couple of players as well. I'm going to go for a 2-0 away victory to the Reds. Yeah,
I've got exactly the same as you. I don't think losing Salah or Mane is going to make him struggle in a few games, but especially if they play the top 7, I think they will start to struggle. But anything else, I think they should just be okay with their squad depth. So 2-0.
Well, they've got Ox. They got Jota and they got Firmino.
I mean, Chamberlain's been pretty out of form recently. He hasn't been doing much, but they still got the quality there, definitely. It's just how Klopp makes it work. Anyway, moving on next, we've got Leicester versus Brighton, 10th versus 9th. Leicester, a few games in hand, so they could actually go above them, to be fair. Patchy form as of late, but look at the run of fixtures they've had. Difficult for Leicester. And then Brighton, win, draw at the moment.
Only one loss in 6.
One loss in 6. Watford's doing well, but then again, very close in that M23 derby, wasn't it? Difficult.
People don't like you calling it the M23 derby.
Difficult one, this one, but I'm going to go Leicester 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, exactly the same for me. It's probably going to upset some Brighton fans, but who cares? I'm going to go for a 2-1 victory to the Foxes. I think they'll have a little bit more pace up front, although Iniacho is missing in the AFCON. Maybe Jamie Vardy will get on the score sheet, although I think Vardy's injured as well.
This is his 16 rundown season.
16 players out. Yeah, he's ruled out. They got a lot of players out. Jeepers Creepers, they got a massive injury list. And AFCON list. No, I'm going to keep with. I'm going to stick with my guns. Leicester 2, Brighton 1, and the final fixture of this weekend sees Chelsea coming up against Spurs. Chelsea beating Spurs recently in the Cup, EFL Cup, isn't it? It's going to be a tight game. Spurs are going to know everything about Chelsea. Of course, Conte is their manager now. Don't think there'll be many goals in this one. I think Chelsea will just sneak it. I'm going to go for a 1-0 home win in front of those Sky cameras.
Yeah, this is going to be tight for me. Conte going back to Chelsea, both teams knowing each other well. Difficult 1-1, especially with Chelsea's recent form.
Fantastic. So that concludes our predictions for week 23 of this 2021-2022 Premier League season. As usual, if you want to play along at home, then head over to the Super Brew website. There's the link there, and that's the code if you're not already a member. And of course, it is totally free to join. What are we, 23 matches through now? There's still another, 15 games, something like that to play. Also, leave your predictions as a comment in the comment section, because we love reading each and every one of your predictions as well. And if you've got any ideas for the show or anything you'd like to say, just let us know in that. But before we go, my nap of the week is going to be Liverpool to beat Crystal Palace away from home.
I always go for the most obscure ones. I'm going to go for Wolves to beat Brentford.
Brilliant. Nathan, before we go as well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Yes, another manager's gone. Who's next?
Who's next? Who's at the bottom of the table?
I know who I'm
Sean
picking.
Dyche, maybe? Nah.
No chance.
Probably Ranieri, I'd say.
Ranieri easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, as for vlogs and stuff, Bristol City away this weekend, 7-side derby. Don't you dare lose. That'll be on the channel Saturday night. And yeah, apart from that, nothing else coming up. So subscribe channel link in the description below.
Fantastic, and make sure you sub to this channel as well.
Yeah.
Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss any of these videos. And of course, I'm doing the AFCON predictions each and every day as a YouTube short. But for now, bid you farewell and see you all in the next video.